What is going on, everybody? We're going to get started in just a few minutes here. If you're watching on TikTok, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the show with your friends. As a subscriber, you have access to my daily price point videos, so that way you will know where the market is going and what is happening. And you can also sign up for the email alert system because the algorithm does not always send you an alert. So this way you can get an email alert notification that you can set up custom alerts so that you will be notified anytime I post something. And also, as a deluxe subscriber, you can message me directly and I offer coaching to help you with your strategy and how you do your trading. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can coach you and push you in the right direction. And so far, everyone that has taken advantage of that service has grown exponentially, and I would say they've become expert traders overnight. And it's funny because now some of them they ask me questions, but before they have the answer or they get the answer, they're like, I think it's going to do this. And I'm like, I think you're right. And so that's a beautiful thing, that the evolution of everyone's trading has just been phenomenal. And kudos to you, all of you who have made those changes and are growing. So proud of you. So happy to see that. How's everybody doing today? We got a few people watching. Don't forget, if you are watching the show, smash the like button because that's what's going to notify people and bring them into the show so that they can watch. We've only got about 3 people. We got 0 likes right now. We did just start. So start smashing that like button and help keep the show alive. You don't always have to give a donation or send a gift, which are very much appreciated, but the likes also are helpful. If you can't afford to give, no big deal. Just keep smashing that like button, double tap that screen, and that sends out to the algorithm that things are happening here and that you're liking the show, and more people will keep driving in. So much appreciated. Thank you, Raiden, for the likes. Much appreciated. One of my faithful subscribers. How are you doing, buddy? We got some news today. We got some news, some more news, and I'd say we're looking pretty good on XRP. XRP is looking excellent. I am really impressed. I do think that there will be a potential pullback, but it could hit, 250 and bounce right back up, and it's already kind of holding firmly above here. And let's jump into the 1 hour real quick. Let's look at the 1 hour and see what it's doing. Okay, we got a little something here. It kind of looks like a double top here at about 265. So that could send it, coming down, but it doesn't look really sharp. Like a double top would normally look like this, really sharp. So it's not quite in structure. What's up, HD Malicious? And don't forget, smash the like button. Keep pressing the screen, double tap it. Let's get those likes up. We're at 136 likes. Let's get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. We generally hit anywhere from 20 to 50K likes a show, and those numbers have been way down. We really need to pick up the likes because it has been detrimental to the show. I know a lot of people are you're driving and you're listening and you don't really have the opportunity to hit the like button. Totally understandable. Totally understand. But if you are available, or some of you are at work, but if you are available to hit the like button, the more you guys are liking it and the more people that are liking it together, the more people that are going to be driven into the show. So if you can't send gifts and you can't, afford to subscribe and you know, you can't send donations, you can always hit the like button. It's free, and we are growing. We are building a platform here. So I do need your help and support to continue that going. So keep those likes flowing in as much as you can throughout the live, and I'll try to remember to remind you, because I do get it. It can get a little much. It can get a little much at sometimes, but unfortunately we need that right now. So I do appreciate you. HD Malicious, thank you for liking the live. This looks a bit like a double top. When you get into the shorter time frames, I'd say that probably the 6 hour. I don't have it available on here. Let me see if I can add it. On my other chart that I use, it has the 6 hour, and I watch that one pretty regularly, but on here I don't have access to that. But I would imagine the 6 hour chart is more than likely a double top. What's up, Ken? How you doing? And don't forget, keep smashing that like button, guys. We need to get those like numbers up. We're at about 500 likes. Let's see if we can get that to about 5,000 likes. 5,000 likes before we get to the news. Glad you're doing well, Ken. It's always good to see you here. We got some subscribers watching. We got Raiden, we got HD Malicious, we got Ken. Glad everyone's doing well. We are getting that pullback though, and I told you it was coming. I was hoping to get all the way to 270, and we just fell short. And if we continue, and let's say we do run up again, and when we hit bam right here at 265 again and fall short, that could be a triple top, and that would be called for a heavy rejection down to, I'd say, 233 to 230, and X marks the spot. It could run sideways for a little while before it does something and then start to run downward. So that would kind of make sense, but we got to kind of see what it wants to do, see if it's gonna, you know, get another bullish push and build a flag. There's definitely opportunity to take off here. I think it's a little early. I think it's going to, but I think more along the lines of June, middle of June, we could see crazy numbers. I would say even past all-time highs, somewhere to like 250-ish. It is definitely possible. How you doing, Henry? Glad to see you. And don't forget, keep hitting that like button. I need you guys all together right now. Let's all come together, everyone watching, and just start hitting the like button. All of you at once hitting it together is going to help the algorithm and drive everybody in here. We are a little low on viewership right now. So, and honestly, I thought about not going live today to take a break. So if viewership is down, I may just call it a quick show, and we'll see what happens. But if you guys are hitting that like button like crazy, I'll stick around for you. Big baller with the likes on Twitch. And if you are on Twitch, hop on over to TikTok real quick and just start hitting the like button. Just start hitting the like button. And don't forget, if you are watching on Twitch and you want to send this little thing at the bottom, it says bits, right? And it kind of looks like this. It's just the same thing, and it sends those little gifts to help support the show. So that also drives the algorithm for Twitch. And I think we've only received 1 bit on Twitch. So I would encourage those of you who are watching on Twitch to engage in that just a little bit. It's like a penny or so. It's like, I don't know how much they are. I may be able to adjust the rate on it. I'm not sure. I'm still kind of learning Twitch too, so I get it. But click the little bits thing right there and send a bit, you know, just one, you know. And it's not really so much about the money with these things. It's about driving viewership to the show, because our viewership has been way down since we moved to Twitch. When we first started, we were doing really well, and it's kind of taken a dive, and I do need us all to work together. So if you are watching on Twitch and you don't want to send a bit, come on over to TikTok real quick and start hitting the like button for a little bit, and then come back to Twitch, whatever you feel like doing, or just watch, leave the phone in your pocket with your earpods in, whatever. I don't mind. But if viewership does stay low today, I'm probably going to do a shorter show, because I'm just tired, man. We have been working on the studio and doing so much here, so I would not mind taking a little bit of time to myself. So we'll see. One news article at a time so far. But I see the likes flowing in on TikTok. Thank you all very much for that support. It is much needed right now. Mr. Pag says, sup. I like TikTok preferably, but I'm okay. Yeah, no worries. Wherever you want to watch, TikTok, Twitch, whatever floats your boat. But the idea is to get over to Twitch now and know where we're at, because we get hit with guidelines quite often. I'm thinking about doing story time tonight. I've been thinking about some different things that have happened within my career, and if something comes to me, something good and saucy that lines up with what's been going on or whatever it comes to mind, I think I'm going to do a story time segment. But as you know, I came out and told you all, because it became a bit of a thing, the underground tunnels in the underground city. It was becoming a thing on TikTok, and I saw this and I was like, wow, people think it's a conspiracy. They think it's fake. They're spreading fake information. They're spreading real information. And I wanted to set the record straight on that, because I have been in those tunnels. I have been in that city. In multiple cities I've seen this. So it is real and it does exist. And now we have a former Bush administration official coming out and saying that they've spent trillions of dollars building these cities all across the nation, just like I told you. And I always tell you before, you hear it here first. You're going to hear things from me, and shortly after I say them, you're going to get confirmation about them. And I can't give you an exact reason why it happens like that. Maybe it's divine timing or something like that. But I think that it's all for a purpose. There's a reason why I've had these experiences in my life, and I believe that they all came to this point right now. That is why we're here. And as you can see, the ghost is gone, but the boo is not gone. We still have the boo right here. The ghost is gone. So that is an indication that we're doing pretty well and we're holding above here. But I do feel like there is a possibility we break through and the ghost goes back up until further notice. But for now, the boo stays and the ghost is gone. We shall see. XRP cooked, looks sideways, nothing serious either way from my TA. Yeah, my technical analysis would say that we're probably going to come right here. X marks the spot. We're probably going to come and retest back here at 230, but I would imagine we bounce up from there. The question is do we bounce up and touch the top of this again, or just out of it and then fall through? And this is, I would say it's more of this pattern right here, this channel pattern. But the reason why I brought this down here like this is to show you how it's holding above the support. So technically there should be another line here, but it got so busy. I didn't want to confuse everybody. but we did break upward out of this wedge, but we're not out of the gate yet because this is an ascending channel, which also can be bearish. I think it could retest down here at 230, but then move back up and retest up here at 280. And depending on what we form around here at 280, maybe we move sideways like this, and then we break downward, or we flag right here and we just blow out the top, or we start to blow out the top even sooner. But I think we're in that consolidation right here. And I would say it's safe to say that XRP is probably going to do all-time highs again. Not right now. I would say probably after June or July, the likelihood. However, the whole trade war and world war is not over yet. Okay, so we have a lot looming in the air. You have any faith in XRP at all with the entire world adopting Ripple? I don't think the entire world is going to adopt Ripple. I think that is a pipe dream, and that is a great idea that somebody had, but all of that stems from basically the whole it replacing Swift in all these things comes from its utility, but also it comes from the proposal on the SEC website. And as you know, that proposal on the SEC website is just a proposal from a random guy. It's from a random technical analysis guy that has proposed this, and people will do things like that. They know that it's a pipe dream, and they know that the SEC will never accept it, but they'll still throw it out there because they're hoping that people will feed on the moon cheese and it will pump the markets. And you know, who knows, maybe it does do something. I had to sell my XRP. I'm looking to buy back in. What's the best buyback in? I'm thinking 230. 230 sounds like a good spot. Man. Let's see. SEC dismissal news is incoming. I know that for a fact. That's going to fuel ETFs. Only if even if the SEC dismisses the case, there's still an injunction. Okay? The only way it's going to get an ETF is with the injunction removed. So the judge has to agree and say that it's lawful to remove the injunction. But the fact that XRP or Ripple is paying a $50 million fine, that calls into question, did they actually do something wrong? And is that injunction viable? BlackRock and Franklin Templeton are not newbies. That's my concern. I agree. And the whole BlackRock ETF, there's been no announcement of that for XRP. It's all been speculation. Nothing's been said. Under previous laws, yes, times have changed. Well, none of the laws have changed. Just the administration has changed. Now, with new regulations and regulatory clarity, that's a possibility. And I think that's part of why they're dragging the case out, so that way it can fall under new guidelines and new regulation. But as of right now, no crypto anything has been passed. There's been no legislation signed. You think we will ever see under $1 again? That is a question. Yes, I think we will after this bull run. If not, maybe we don't see under like $1.50 or $2 ish. But I definitely think that more than likely we will see 75 cents again, or maybe $1.15 ish, $1.05. Those numbers are still on the table. Remember, this is a bull cycle. All right. If you look at any previous cycle, let me go into the 1 day. If you look at any previous cycle, all right, they run up and then they fall down and then they go sideways. They run up, they fall down, they go to sideways. So yes, there is a likelihood that it will see $1 again. It could happen. We have our little ghost guy here. I don't think there's too much to be afraid of right now, but I do think we're going to come back and retest 230. Are we going down when Asia wakes up? I would say, let's see, today's Wednesday. Probably. Yeah, because we've been pumping on Sundays and we've been selling on Wednesdays. It's been the opposite. But we did have a Sunday sell-off. And we did sell off Wednesday. There's a possibility, you know, we pump, but I'm thinking Sunday will be a sell-off day. And that's probably when you'll see it fall. It's probably just going to consolidate until then. And I would say there is a possibility. I know I'm always doing these patterns, but this could potentially be head and shoulders right here down to 230. Possibly. It's a little bit wonky, but if you put it in a different time frame, it actually kind of looks like it. Let's see here. As you see here. And we've seen plenty of head and shoulders. There's this inverted head and shoulders that was a double bottom. Where's another one? Well, this is probably the best. This inverted head and shoulders was a double bottom. And we have the body, the shoulder, the head right here, right? And this was a head and shoulders. And I'd say it just has a wonky arm. It kind of went up, but I did say about 230 would be the play out of that head and shoulders. And we hit it 230 on the dot. And then we started doing something else. So this technically was a head and shoulders. And this could possibly be head and shoulders with a double top. So the double top would bring it down in here and it would probably hit this blue line and consolidate, maybe run up again one more time and then fall short at the X right here. And that would break it down. And it's very possible that if it does form a head and shoulders at 230 right there, it could break past it and come all the way down to this line at 207. So this is definitely something I'm watching for. I do think for sure we're probably going to see 230. There's not enough data yet, but if this head and shoulders plays out, it's probably going to come down here to this blue line. So that's the question. Does it stop at this blue line or this one? And I'd say that we've ran all the way up from 163 to 265. All right. And we've had, it's just been pretty much upward. We had a little bit of a correction here, but not really. I'd say that this was more like a consolidation, but it was a bit of a correction, but not really. Bringing it down to this line at 208, 210 would indicate a 50% correction from this overall move from down here to up here. And that's this overall upward moving trend. And that would kind of play out this pattern right here. Let's see here. Give me a second. If it's this and it does this, it could very well this be the channel right here and it's not as long. And it comes up here and then breaks down. I think it's got another one in it though. I think it wants to come here and then run up one more time. However, this X right here marks May 20th. That's Tuesday, May 20th or Wednesday, May 21st. Maybe it's Sunday. Maybe it does it a little early. Sunday, May 18th. Maybe it goes a little late. Maybe it happens Sunday after Memorial Day, May 25th, right? And that time frame lines up with the previous cycle. So this previous cycle right here, we dropped here on May 25th through May 20th. That's Memorial Day weekend. People are going to take money out to go barbecue and party. Let's see this big red candle right here. This is May 19th. All right. All the way to June 22nd. I would say accumulation between the beginning of June to the end of July. That's where I would be buying if it does this, which I think more than likely. I would just be buying it up as much as I can, loading up on all the dips all the way down, trying to figure out where the bottom's going to be, because after it does get, and I'm thinking, you know, if it drops hard like this, I buy some here. If it runs back up again, I'll take some profits. And as it runs back down to the second one, I'll throw it in some more. And then it runs up again, take some more profits, and it runs down some more, throw it back in, and build up that bag over those couple months that are dead. The saying goes, sell in May, go away. Let's see. Had to come over to TikTok. Ads are nuts. Yeah, I do apologize for the ads, but one day we won't have TikTok and you'll just have to subscribe on Twitch, and it'll actually be cheaper because I think the TikTok subscription's like $10 and the Twitch subscription's only like $7. But the idea is to move you over to Twitch for now, because one day we won't have TikTok anymore. TikTok will be done, and that's where you're going to have to come watch the show. So we're facilitating that migration right now. I'm dumping 409. Yeah, I think I'm going to dump before that. I think I'm going to dump at 350. Because look, if it does this, all right, if this is where we're at, all right, let's say we're right here, and then we dump May 19th, May 20th through the 21st, end of May, we dump hard, right? I'm going to be accumulating all the way along here until July-ish, and then I'm going to be waiting for that run up, and I may even accumulate through July a little bit, right? And then it runs up one more time, okay? But as you can see, this time it went to 196. The second time it pumped, it only went to 141. So it's only about half the way up. So if it does drop like that hard before, and look at what's today's date, the 14th, May 14th, look at, it's lining up perfectly. Okay, so we had a drop and then we've ran up 13th, 14th, 15th, okay, 16th, 17th, and then bam, down hard. End of May, which is what I think is going to happen with XRP. It's probably going to run up for a little bit, consolidate sideways, get one more good little push up, and then it's going to be toast. It's going to come down hard, and it's going to run down for a couple months. And that's going to be your accumulation zone for the next pump, but it won't be as much. It'll be half the way. So let's say that this is, we compare this over here to the previous cycle, that would run it back down to that 163 to even 125. We would fall down here to this blue line. Right? Maybe 130-ish. But the blue line says that we would probably hit around 120 to 130, but there's a lot of resistance at like 150. So I think, 150, 145-ish we'd hit, And that's where we would first initially hit, and we would probably continue sideways downward channel all the way down to, I would say, $1. And if it's anything like the last one, it would pump from $1 up to $2, possibly $2.50. Jam says toast too. Yeah. I think there is a possibility of that still playing out. However, everything is so different this cycle, but it is moving exactly like the previous cycle for now. So I think it's in for a hard dump. This is bearish, this downward channel, and this upward channel is also bearish. It's just getting going. I think it'll probably run sideways a little bit and then pump up one more time to about 270-ish, maybe even 275 or 280. That's very possible. That's on the table. And then fall down just hard. And I think it would take longer than it did in the previous cycle. It wouldn't be these crazy red candles. I think we'd see some big red candles, but it'll be multiples, one after the other, like these. It'll look kind of like this, drop down here from what was it, like 160 all the way to 260 all the way to 163. That kind of a move. And let's see, let's plot that real quick. Let's say we move from here, and we put that right here. That would put the price right at 163 again. That is possibly the bottom. And it may go a little bit lower, but that's just kind of gauging what it moved from here to here. The last big drop. And let's say it runs up a little higher, 180. Those are all those resistance zones right there. So it could go to 180 and then taper off sideways from there. And, just kind of do this and then shoot up, probably hit $2 and consolidate a little bit maybe, and pull back like this, and then cup and handle and run up. But I would say probably around 250, 260 would be the top again, where it's at right now, where it's hitting the resistance, and that would be the top. So technically, buying right now is buying the top for now, unless something changes. I thought we were in a reversal trend. We kind of are, but not. So here, let me explain to you that this trend is a smaller micro reversal. Let me get rid of all this stuff here. I gotta get rid of this mouse pad. It's not working well. I have another one here. Oh yeah, that works much better. Okay. This downward trend, okay, is bearish. This upward trend is also bearish, okay? It's trending upward and it's broken out of this trend, moving upward, and it's moving up this channel. But in a technical analysis, you would say an ascending channel is followed by a drop. Every other coins are hitting all-time highs. Why is it so hard for XRP to get there? Because the SEC, institutions can't buy it. Institutions can buy other coins right now. XRP is like the only one. That's why I'm so interested in it, because if it is suppressed because of that, and one day it does drop, that can happen. Not only will it pump like crazy, but then institutional money will get into it, and it could send it to $10. That's all that speculation. That's why I'm watching it, because I don't care if I miss from $2 to $2.50 and I miss this. That's not a big deal, because there's always a price correction, get halfway in somewhere along there. I want to see news that tells me that it's going to pump hard and it's going to break out of this institutional decline because no institutions are into it. But X marks the spot, and look at these two channels are an X together, and they've crossed over here, right here at this X. We pumped up, right? And more than likely, so we pumped at about this X, and this X is on the low side, not the high side. So that would indicate a drop down to this side, somewhere around here. And it could run up one more time and then drop, but it doesn't line up with the timeline. There is a possibility, but we're already in May 15th. It would take days for it to get down here, and May 21st, May 19th to May 21st is when we had that big drop in the last cycle. So if it's mimicking the last cycle, that would indicate that we would come down to this X and possibly blow right through it, and over the next month or so work our way down to, you know, 175, 150, something like that. So that's why I'm watching it, because I'm interested. I'm waiting for lower zones to be in it to keep, you know, because I took profits up here. I want to throw them in these lower zones, because I do think there is a potential that it's going to do something, and it's being held back, which is buying me time to make trades and accumulate and do more with it. I think there's more potential here. What about Cardano? No legal issues with them. Exactly. However, but with legal issues, once XRP's been put through the fire and it has that legal clarity, it's more adoptable. And that's that speculation that's happening. It's like, it's the only one that is, you know, been through the fire. Let's see here. Other chats going like crazy. For precedent purpose, under previous laws, yes, but it will be changed. For precedence purpose, really well, or under $1, geez. Yeah, it's definitely possible. After the bull run's over, everything crashes again. Everything will crash again. That's just how it goes. What is this? This is XRP. Danny Gibson. This is XRP always. Let's see. I'll be in Vegas May 28th for 3 weeks. I'll be attending the Bitcoin Con. I'll see you June 2nd. Awesome. I will be there. I will be there, and I will have the equipment, and we'll do a special live or something, and we'll hang out. We'll do whatever. So I cannot wait to see you guys. There's a few people who are confirmed for the Vegas meet and greet. Those of you who are coming out, we're going to have a blast. It's going to be great. I cannot wait. We're weeks away from finally meeting you guys. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be awesome. And if all we do is go play some games and, have something, and hang out, whatever, and do Vegas, I'm cool with that too. Like, we don't necessarily have to do the live. I do plan on doing a bit of a live. I'll wait until we all meet each other and talk and see what everybody wants to do, because not everybody wants to be on camera and this and that. And but I do kind of want to do a special little walk through Caesar's Palace in the mall area for the live, and kind of explain the similarities between that and the underground tunnels and city. So I do want to do that, because there's a lot of people who haven't been there or whatever, and I just want to kind of explain, because that's probably the closest thing I've seen to above ground that's like what's below ground in those more luxurious areas. And it's a great way to just describe the differences and the similarities. But I would say one of the biggest differences is they actually have living plants down there. It's not, there's no sun, but because of the lighting that they have, it does grow the plant life. And I think part of that, and like I said, they have, water and like ponds and things like that with fish in them and stuff. And I think that's all part of like an aquaponics system that's for down there, because I do think that these are like aftermath scenario type places, but they're also utilized while they exist. Yeah, I wouldn't say hydroponic, it's aquaponic. So the difference is they use the fish to fertilize the water, and then the water is pumped into water the plants. So the fish produce meat, and they also produce fertilization for the plants. I actually used to build aquaponic systems back in the day when I was much, much younger. We would build these greenhouse things, and they have like a big giant tub, and we'd fill them with fish, depending on whatever you want. I think a lot of them, they use halibut, and you put them inside the greenhouse. And so what we did was we built an aeroponic aquaponic system. So the roots are actually suspended and sprayed with the water, and they don't actually sit in soil, and they don't actually sit in water. I'm online YouTube, my greenhouse I built. Nice. I could probably find something I built in the past. We used to build them commercially. My uncle, he used to have a shutter business, and so like I learned a lot of my carpentry stuff from working with my uncle building shutters from a really young age. I worked 16 years old working in the carpentry shop. And after I don't remember what year that was, but after he had closed that shop, and I don't think he actually closed it, but it was kind of like an offshoot of what he was doing. We were building the aquaponic greenhouses. So it was the carpentry and all the plumbing and everything we were all doing together. Hydroponic greenhouses number 1 through 4. Yeah. And obviously everybody just automatically assumes the devil's lettuce. But no, we were doing like tomato stuff. So we were like trying to create systems that were self-sustainable. So someone could build one of these in their backyard, and they could have fish, to eat and harvest, and they could also have fresh food, vegetables, things like that to harvest. That was the whole thing behind it. Obviously, there are those who use them for whatever they're going to use them for, but that wasn't the whole point. But there was a time where I used to build systems for those people. I actually invented a way to grow more efficiently. And what it is, they use these felt bags. They're like a black felt bag. And the reason that they work so well is that the aeration, it allows the roots to get more air, and they grow bigger and stronger and better fruit, right? And so what I had created was this system where it's a cross between aeroponics, hydroponics, and in soil growing. And it was these PVC pipe frames that each one of these bags was suspended from and hung in the air. And then the aeroponic sprayers sprayed directly onto the bag to moisturize it, and all of the plumbing for the water was piped through the PVC pipe and all interconnected. And they had like quick disconnects where you could quickly disconnect them and move them around. And then I also invented a system for the lights. When there was 12 lights that went around the room for and what it did was every hour the light would switch to a different hour, and during the daytime it would simulate the movement of the sun in the room and cause the plants to lean towards the light and move back and forth, which produces a stronger, thicker stem, which allows more nutrients to flow up through the plant. So that was actually my own design. I have the original drawings for the designs. They're actually in my desk. I'm looking at them right now. I can literally see it right now. Those were drawn years ago, and I don't believe anyone uses that system to this day. I think it's more along the lines it's not cost effective, but the growth and production was just tremendous. That's cool. My NFT system is all PVC setup. Cool. Your system was similar. Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, I took ideas from several different grow ideas, and I kind of combined them into one. So the idea was to create something that was grown in soil, because nothing grows better than what's in soil, but also create the way to have the aeration of the soil and the way to deliver the nutrients in a way that didn't cause root rot. So, as you all know, I'm a very creative person. I've actually invented a lot of things. There are things that you can buy today that I invented. However, none of my patents have ever gone through. However, there is one patent that I'm holding on to, and I haven't decided, am I going to go ahead and try to produce this product because nobody's building it and I want it so bad. But my intention is to hold the patent to resell it to a different company. But I have a beautiful, beautiful idea. I don't want to give it away yet because I don't want someone to take the idea. I want to have something come to market before I put it out there into the world, because every time I voice one of my ideas, they manifest very quickly. So I have filed patent and done different things, and by the way, if you are going to do a patent, the best way to do this is to draw up your designs, mail them to yourself, and hold them. You technically don't have, and leave the envelope sealed, but you technically don't have a patent, but you can argue in court that you had the idea first and you can get residuals from it. That's probably the cheapest way. I think some states have done away with that though, but it costs like 50 grand minimum to do a patent, and you want to have a good attorney to write your patents for you so that it's airtight. Otherwise, other companies will take it. That's your patent number. Good for you, man. I don't even remember what my patent number is. I got an email from them though. It's been about 15 years since I did that patent, so I believe it's up soon in the next 5 years, so I have to renew it. And I'm probably going to try to sell it to someone. I haven't decided what to do with that. I was hoping that by now, more of the technology, it's a very technologically advanced thing that I've designed. As you all know, I have a master's in electrical engineering and audio video engineering. And, this one's maybe a little too technical for me, but I think with the rise of AI, it's going to make it a little bit easier for this to come to fruition. So we will see. We will see, but I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with golfing. And I think that this product is going to be very cheap to make, but people are going to pay a lot of money for it. Oh yeah, I would pay. I think I could probably build it for under $20 a unit, and I think I could probably sell it for $300 to $500 a unit. How you doing, Guinea Marie? So that's my golden goose. I need to do something with that. Henry, you've put a fire under my butt. I'm going to do something with that. And thank you all for hitting the like button. We had a little story time there for a minute. I do enjoy doing the story times. TikTok seller, thank you for the finger hearts, 4 finger hearts, and 11 of the I'm so hungry. 11 I'm so hungry. I do apologize if I miss your gifts. I'm still learning the how to read the chat and do everything, so my apologies. Thank you for the gifts. By the way, don't forget, TikTok seller has a show on TikTok. It's not like mine, it's not like a podcast style show, but he does sell products. And so if you want to support his show, go and check out his profile, send him a follow, and you'll see them pop up in your For You page. He's had a few pretty cool products that he gets from TikTok, and I have never seen anybody have such good discounts for those items on TikTok Shop. So when you go to TikTok Shop directly, you can find those same items. But I've noticed, like with him, they're much cheaper. I don't know how you get those special discounts. Maybe it's because he's selling so many or whatever. And I know that some of the discounts are timed, but I have seen some incredible deals from him. I want to buy that desk from you. I know you're not offering it anymore, but if you do offer that desk again, I will probably buy one. Let's see. TikTok seller 444 says, "Hey, thanks, man. No problem. Much appreciated. I appreciate all your support. Thank you for the 20 subscriptions on Twitch yesterday. Much appreciated. What's the news on XRP? I think it's due for correction. It could, pump again. But if it doesn't break above 264, it's coming back down to 231 and possibly even lower of about 210-ish, 212, probably more like it. And that would line up with the May sell-off, and it could even drop lower than that. I don't have a super accurate number yet, but I'd say probably 160-ish to start, and it could drop all the way down to $1. I would say that probably $1.20. It just depends on, like, if they keep artificially propping it up with news, that could just help it like trend sideways-ish like it has been, because it's basically been it's been between 292-ish. Let's say $3. It's been between $3 and $2. Okay, in that dollar margin range there for a while, since November or December, I would say, since December till now. So 6 months. 6 months, it's kind of just been moving sideways. So I think they're trying to keep it above $2 so that way when the SEC thing finally does drop and regulation and all that starts to cascade, it does send it to crazy numbers. I think that is something that they're really trying to do, but I do believe that it is possible to see below $2 again. And after the bull run is over, I'd say 75 cents and possibly even lower. B says, 50 cents. I think that would be maybe in despair and it would come back up. But I think the mean number would be somewhere between 75 cents, somewhere right around there. Once this is all said and done, it goes back to normal. Udo, you have any of those January streams recorded? I want to watch some of those. That was so cool. Yeah, so watch my videos from January. It was the day before, all right, February 1st. So January 31st, I went live and I said, hey, or I think it was January 29th or 30th. I would say it was probably the 30th or the 31st. I went live and I said, we were up here. We were up here. And that was the day I exited the market. And I posted a video and it's on there. And it said, tariffs go into effect tomorrow. Expect it to drop. And I said that the bottom before the reversal for this downward bearish trend that we're going to form basically would be 163. And I said 161-ish, 162, but I added a little bit more to it just to make sure it would hit. And it did. It went all the way to 163 before it turned around and started heading up like it is now. And that was all the way back on January 31st, I want to say. Why would it go lower? Bear market, I get, but the regulation would permit ETFs. Yes, but it's a possibility that $2 ends up being the bottom. If we're going up to like $10 and then fall down, $2. But if we fall, if we fall short into July and fall down to like 120-ish and then pump up again, it'll probably top out at $2.80 to $3. That would probably be the highest. I would say $2.50 to $2 may even be all it does, because we already speculative pumped right here when Trump got into office. The day he got elected, boom, it flew up. And then the day he got inaugurated, it flew up. And since then, it's been downward. The only thing that really did any big movements was this Trump candle where he said, and on a Sunday out of nowhere, he was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing the strategic reserve. And then tariffs went into place the very next day, brought it back down. It recovered a little bit and then it fell back down hard because everybody found out the news that it was not what we thought it was. We thought that the government was going to be mass accumulating cryptocurrency, which I knew wasn't going to be the case. But people were speculating that. And then once we found out that it wasn't, it just dumped. And it's been like that ever since. Yeah, definitely go check out those videos. There's a lot of them too. There's definitely more than one video where I'm like 163 months ago, back in January, when we were up at the top here. And everyone was like, this is a bull flag. We're going to all-time highs. And I was like, nah, tariffs and all the stuff that was going on. And that's when I decided to do the show. Was just right before here when we got this first red candle here. I was like, I think this was the show I did with Mega was January 19th. That was my first live show, was on Mega Cryptos live. And I was like, hey man, I think, and you know, he's like, oh yeah, we're going to recover and we're going to do all these crazy things. And I was like, nah, man, we're going to drop, and we're going to drop hard. And I'm thinking 163 is where we go to from here. And obviously it took a long time to get there, but that was the very bottom. So that was a very long time ago. And that's after doing his show, I kind of just got the idea. It was my inspiration. The show went so well and I enjoyed doing it. I was like, you know what? people need to hear what I have to say, because everybody was on the, we're going to $11 million XRP. You know, everyone was saying $100,000. They were saying, you know, $50, $100, all these crazy numbers that we all know they were just outlandish now. And I was like, I need to inform people. I need to tell people need to be getting the truth, because they're being lied to. And that's when I decided to do the show. And now, what's it been? 6 months later, and we have grown so much. It's pretty crazy. I'm so freaking super cycle bullish. I have a group in right now with leverage up. We go, bro. I think the super cycle could happen because, one, they are using fake news and these 90-day pause things to keep the markets inflated. So there is a possibility, because if enough people, you know, believe in it, it manifests itself. So XRP to 10,000, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not in this decade. Well, but I think we could definitely, see something, but I think, they're pushing those super cycle numbers to get everybody hooked on the idea that it's going to 25, 30, 80, 100, 1,000, 10,000. That's a long way to go. Look at all this. That's a long way to move up. That's just to $10. That is a long way to $10. Okay. But I think $10 could be probable, but I think they're feeding these $10,000 numbers and stuff so that way when it does get close to $10, it gets closer to $10, but also those people don't start pulling out. They're going to wait and hold, and then it'll crash. See you in Vegas. We'll celebrate together. I'm always in a suit and not a tracksuit. I wear suits a lot too. I probably have 11 different suits, and I have like 13 different belts and maybe 20 different pairs of shoes. I get a lot of custom shoes made from like designer shoemakers, leather shoes. I've had some custom shoes made by like Stacey Adams and a few different others. I have my other stuff, but I have some pretty dapper stuff. I'm tempted to wear a suit. I'm tempted. If everyone else is wearing a suit, I'm wearing a suit. Why not, right? That sounds like fun. I thought about doing the show in my suit, but I was like, no, I generally wear, like polo shirts and stuff. I'm a golfer, by the way. If you guys know anything about me, I love to golf. I have a golf cart, and I go golfing all the time. I've had several golf carts. I used to have one of those ones you drive on the road, and I would drive it to the golf course, and I'd plug it in, charge it a little bit, and have a few margaritas, and then go out and drive it and play, 9 or 18 holes. I only do about 9 holes now because my back just can't take it. XRP is the coin. No pump here. By the way, no golf here. Only miniature. I'm a big golfer. Has anyone else seen the studio? No, TikTok seller 444. You are the only person I've sent that picture to. So, TikTok sellers actually seen a picture of the studio, and it's quite magnificent. What a change from and that video we watched the other night together, TikTok seller, that was from early January, and that was after our first upgrade. So we went live for like a week or so, I think maybe 2 weeks before I put that monitor up and stuff. And we were doing, I tried to originally do the live from my computer, but I hadn't used my computer in like 10 years, and it would not run live streaming. It was just too dead tech. So I came up with a way to cast my tablet onto the screen, and we had the camera pointed at it because I didn't have TikTok Studio yet, and it was very rudimentary, very much so. And now this studio is magnificent, and we're hardlined in now with the Ethernet. So I moved that up the priority list. So all the Ethernet is run. The satellite's been set up for Starlink. All of that is 100% now. So we shouldn't drop the live anymore. And it's all been rebooted and calibrated and everything. So Starlink is linked in right now to the studio. I'm so excited. We haven't had one problem since I did this. And we did plug it in one live, and it did help a little bit, but it hadn't been fully calibrated and everything yet. Now that all that's been done, it seems to be working flawlessly. So I'm super excited. And we also have a backup Starlink. So we actually have 2 Starlinks for the studio now. So if one crashes, the other one automatically kicks in, so that way if for some reason something happens, there's only a slight little delay between, and it automatically switches to the other network. So it's pretty high tech. Let me tell you right now, and TikTok Seller will tell you this for sure, I spared no expense. The only expense I spared was I was going to go 4 monitors, and I decided to keep the original monitor. So I have a 3 monitor setup, 2 curved, and then I have the original monitor from the beginning of when we started the show. And I knew that this show was going to grow and become something much more later on. So I decided to leave that there so it could remind me where I came from. So I didn't lose sight of what I was trying to do. But like even the lighting is like super high tech. Like we've got lights on tripods with sandbags on them holding up, with massive filters and everything. It's freaking awesome. They're all remote control. We have the AI tracking 14K camera. We have the audio interface, the Mackie audio interface. We have a Behringer mixer. We have it's like, I think I got about $3,000 into the computer, custom built computer for the show. We have the DJI equipment. We have the wireless mics, the handheld mics. We have the gimbal and the tripod and everything, all the cables and everything. And by the way, I want to give a special shout out to Sweetwater. They made this possible. They are a sponsor for the show. Full disclosure, Sweetwater is a sponsor for the show. However, they did donate equipment, but I did have to buy a lot of it out of pocket. But we started buying so much equipment so quickly. They reached out to me and were like, hey, like, we want to send you these free gifts or whatever. And there's not much, like, I don't have to do a segment for them every live. I do have to mention them about once a month and give them recognition, but it won't be like an ad space. So this would be their recognition for today. So give it out to Sweetwater. You can check them out at sweetwater.com. and they have all kinds of your studio equipment if you're interested in streaming. So thank you all very much for your support, and thanks to Sweetwater. All right. So yeah, we definitely had some story time today. That was cool though. The evolution of this show has been amazing, and I'm really excited about the direction we're headed. We could be speaking at TwitchCon. I really hope that I get that. Obviously, I think the odds are slim, but the fact that they reached out to me and said that they were considering having me be a speaker at TwitchCon, I was very honored. So we'll see. I sent them my proposal of what I would be speaking on and my topic points and all of that. So we'll see if that gets approved or not. If not, no big deal. You know, we're probably still going to be at TwitchCon. I'm not 100% sure. I have to read the language on it, but it sounds like either way, they're sending me to TwitchCon. So I gotta double check with management, but that's not until when is it? It's in San Diego in like November, December, something like that. So it hasn't really been on the top of my list. I've been more focused on the studio, but management is handling all the paperwork now. So we have now somebody to handle all the appeals for TikTok, and we have somebody to handle all of the paperwork and legalities and stuff that comes with this. We're starting an LLC for the business because that hasn't been done, and it should have been done a long time ago. But yeah, it's all progressing and moving forward. And I'll tell you though, management has my hands tied a little bit because they don't want me to get hit with the guidelines. So I've kind of reeled it back in a little bit, but not really. But the other day when I got banned, or not that word, don't say that word, I'm going to get in trouble. The other day when I got hit with guidelines and we were off of TikTok for a whole week, management was like, you better not do that. They're like, if you break your NDA, we're looking at all kinds of legal nonsense and stuff. And they're like, if you're going to get removed off of TikTok and all these things. And I was like, you know what? It's still my show, and I have that creative say so where I'm like, it's my show and I'm going to do it my way. But I also do have to pay for the consequences, and it's always with my pocketbook. So I decided that I was going to make that sacrifice for you guys because I felt like it was something that needed to be done because people need to know that information. So for those of you that saw it, hopefully you're preparing for things like that. And if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. You can always go and check out the past videos are recorded. The lives are recorded, and you can watch them on YouTube at any time. So if you do miss a show, go check it out there. Bearish or bullish? That's a good question. I'd say consolidation. I'd say we're in consolidation, and consolidation is indecision. We're moving sideways. We're going to see, does it want to break up from here or does it want to come down? But if it does break up, I would say 270. If it does break down, I would say 230 to $2, 210. So we'll have to see. It's one of those, don't know. Generally in consolidation, you don't buy or sell, right? You wait. Unless you get an indication of what's going to happen, it shows a formation or something, then you would either buy or sell. So we're waiting for that indication. I've been saying the last couple of days, not much data. We kind of got a green hammer here, but we still got this, what looks like maybe not quite a red hammer, more like a spinning top. So it's the market is in indecision. But I'll tell you, we formed today's candle and we pumped up and we've come back down and we're inching towards the blue line. If we break past it, that's it. I think there's an opportunity to see 265 to 270 again before. However, I think it's well due for a price correction, and the previous cycle would indicate that it's going to have a massive, massive drop. So if you're going off of this is a different cycle, everything's different than it's ever been, then I would say, you know, what are you kidding me? We're disconnected. I think it's TikTok. I think it might need to be updated. Are you guys there? Did I lose you? Because OBS is perfectly fine. The internet indication is perfect. But TikTok keeps dropping the live. I think it's either the server or the program needs to be maybe reinstalled or something. I'm not sure. Are you guys still there? Did I lose you? Let me know. And don't forget, if you are watching the show still, especially on TikTok, smash the like button. Go into TikTok and start hitting the like button. Viewership is way down. We're down to 2 viewers. So please help with that. We've got 4 viewers on Twitch. It's a slow day. It's a slow day today. And if it remains slow, I'm going to cut the live short today and just rest a little bit because it's been a long day. But if we can bump it up, you know, great. But it's not good for the algorithm or the stats to have these low numbers. So, censored by TikTok, how you doing? Smash the like button, guys. Start smashing it. We're at 20K likes, but only 3 viewers. It's kind of incredible. So, keep hitting the like button. If you're watching on Twitch and you are available, jump over to TikTok and start hitting the like button. Let's get these views up. And don't forget, on Twitch, you can spam the chat as well. That does help. On Twitch, if you're not trying to jump over, send emojis, send questions, send whatever, engage into the show, and that does help with their algorithm as well. Let's get into some news. While you guys are hitting that like button, being my liking warriors, I need y'all right now. Everyone come together and start hitting the live. Paul, thank you for the emojis. All right, crypto basics. Ripple's latest blog post about RLUSD's use case in the hidden road setup has triggered concern among XRP proponents, questioning Coin's role in the deal. On Tuesday, Ripple published a blog posting highlighted the use case of stablecoins like RLUSD. The San Francisco-based payments company emphasized that stablecoins bridge the gap between DeFi and TradeFi. RLUSD's role in hidden road setup. The blog post further highlighted RLUSD's role in the hidden road deal. Recall that Ripple reached an agreement with Hidden Road to acquire the prime broker for $1.5 billion. In its recent blog post, Ripple stated that Hidden Road, which clears over $3 trillion for 300 financial institutions annually, will leverage RLUSD as a collateral asset across its prime brokerage firm. Meanwhile, part of the deal would see Hidden Road transition its post-trade activities onto XRPL. XRP's underlining blockchain, allowing it to reduce costs, with XRPL handling hidden roads post-trades. The prime broker would leverage XRP to pay all post-trades transactions fees. That's actually awesome. The company initially disclosed this in April when it announced Hidden Road acquisition at the time. The disclosure elicited major controversy, with some community members expressing concerns that the company sidelining XRP. Community asked about XRP's role in the Hidden Road deal. These concerns have resurfaced, with Ripple reiterating that Hidden Road will use RLUSD as a collateral asset across its platform. Several users have once again questioned XRP's role in the Hidden Road setup, with some suggesting that XRP's function is now limited to paying transaction fees. Earlier this month, XRP community member Elena this statement on X, she indicated that while RLUSD utility spans cross-border settlements to multi-fiat onboarding, XRP is used to settle transactions only on the XRPL ledger. According to her, XRP was once the preferred bridge asset on XRPL. However, she suggested that the coin is gradually losing its relevance, alleging that RLUSD is gaining traction as Ripple's favorite. For context, Ripple launched the USD pegged stablecoin on the XRPL in December 2024. After its launch, it was integrated into Ripple's payment solution, giving financial institutions access to a fiat-backed digital currency with zero volatility. Since its launch, RLUSD has gained widespread adoption across the broader crypto market and has been listed on major exchanges like Gemini, Uphold, Bitso, and MoonPay. Interestingly, thanks to the Hidden Road acquisition, it is now poised to become its first stablecoin to enable cross margins between traditional markets and digital assets. Ripple Exis dismisses concerns, while XRP proponents are concerned that RLUSD is gradually replacing the favorite coin. Ripple executives have continued to dismiss this assertion. And why wouldn't they? They have everything to gain from Ripple XRP going up because they get to sell it every month. So keep that in mind. It's in their best interest to, they're not going to come right out and say yes or no. They're just kind of dismissing it and saying, oh, no, but there's no straight answer. So this is a problem. Earlier this year, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said RLUSD and XRP would complement each other, as asserted that both have different functions, noting that while XRP functions as the bridge asset to provide liquidity between two fiat currencies, RLUSD serves as an on-chain fiat. Now, that is a possibility. And I would say that that's probably the more likely scenario. However, I think the only thing, XRP won't get much value from it serving that purpose. It'll get its value from people holding it and not selling it. That's where it's going to get its real price from. Additionally, Ripple CEO David Schwartz stated that RLUSD is good for XRP rather than harmful. He emphasized that stablecoins like RLUSD are crucial in maintaining price stability. Ripple CTO also mentioned that XRP would continue to render key functions like auto bridging that favor its liquidity. And I think that's part of why XRP has been held back a little bit. Is for that reason. People are wondering, aren't they just going to use stable coins? And that's been a concern I've been stating over the last couple weeks. Is I think that CBDCs are what these institutions actually want to use. For now, it's XRP still holds a place, but I think in the long-term future, stable coins and CBDCs will be the future. So keep that in mind. Tokenization of real world assets. This is on the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Before I get into this, I want to address Jfinity's. What candles or patterns do you see to validate or invalidate a move? Nothing right now. It's indecision. We're in consolidation. We need to see a pattern form or a breakout. So that's kind of what we're doing, is we're waiting to see. But I would say make sure you're taking profits. Even if we do break out, you should be taking profits. Jfinity with the 5 tiny dinos. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And don't forget, smash that like button, guys. Everybody on TikTok, come together right now and smash the like button. We've only got 4 viewers right now. We need to bump that viewership up right now. Come together. You don't have to send a gift. You don't have to send a donation. But if you can hit the like button, that is going to be the most helpful thing right now. Obviously, donations and gifts are, needed and essential to running this show. But right now, we need to broaden the show and get more viewership. We need to grow. Growth is very important, so that way that financial burden is not just falling on me and you, but we can spread that out to a much bigger community. But as you see in the Twitch chat, those of you watching on Twitch, there's the Steam Elements. You can click that and send a donation, or you can send the donations directly to my Cash App or Venmo. That's at OZZY12233504. And you can send those. TikTok seller, thank you for the 6 Let 'em Cooks. We've got 6 out of 10 Let 'em Cooks for our goal. We're almost there. Let's see if we can get 4 more. 4 more Let 'em Cooks is going to help reach that goal. Who's got me on the Let 'em Cooks? But also, if you can't give, just hit the like button. It's much needed right now. We need to grow viewership dramatically. Or I'm going to start cutting the show back and doing maybe like a 1-hour segment. Because if we're not growing, I'm going to scale things back here. Because we were growing so exponentially before, and we've just kind of fallen back. And part of that's because of getting the guidelines and all of that. We're kind of in a shadow ban, so we have to work together to break ourselves out of the shadow ban, get it back into the For You page. So I need your guys' help to hit that like button. Thank you all very much for your overwhelming support. But I do want the show to grow because we need to get this information out to more people. JM says XRP is trash. What makes you say that? I'm actually really curious why you feel that way, because I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about it. Live goal achieved. Thank you so much. TikTok seller with 4 more Let 'em Cooks. Thank you very much. And don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel as well. Subscriptions also help. Let's see here. Is the subscription thing up there? I don't think it is. I don't know how to, let me see here. Goal settings. There we go. Let's do that. Let's get some subscribers. We need subscribers too. We need more people subscribing. We need more people watching. Because that is what really drives the show. TikTok wants revenue, you know? Inactivity detected in my live. Isn't that something? We are just constantly getting hit with nonsense on TikTok. I can't wait till we no longer need it, but for now we need it. We need to slowly migrate over to Twitch. But I do believe that if we speak at TwitchCon, that's definitely going to boost the show dramatically, and we'll no longer need TikTok. So that's the goal, is to grow the show at TwitchCon. So hopefully I get that spot to speak, because I feel like I have a lot to say, and I feel like I could do a good job at it. And I you know, worked at these events my whole life. I know how they go down, and I know what works and what doesn't. If they do reach out to me and there's like a secondary process to it, again, because they already did reach out to me. But if there's a secondary process where I can actually talk to somebody, I guarantee I can talk my way in there. But right now it's all automated and whatnot. So we'll see. Thank you all for hitting that like button. Keep on doing it. Let's keep them coming in. We need to get to 50K likes. We're at 22K. Work together, be a team, get those likes up. Much appreciated. And if you are watching on Twitch and you want to come over to TikTok and help with the likes, please do. Please do. And if not, you know, you're working or you're driving, whatever, obviously be safe. Do the safe thing, but we do need that viewership. So this is from the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission website. This was a speech that was given by Commissioner Mark T. Udea. I'm not going to read it, but it's basically tokenization of real world assets. And this is very bullish for algo. All right. Anything that does tokenization of real world assets, this is very bullish news. Go read it. Go check it out. Very interesting, but I'm not going to read it. But it's there's a lot there. It's not super long, but it's just too much. It's too much. It's a little boring. But I do encourage you to check it out. This is very bullish for algo, I would say, because it's probably one of the top real world tokenization coins. So because of that, but anything that tokenizes real world assets is going to benefit from this news. This is very bullish for real world assets. Man, I have a hard time saying that. These coins are going to soar. And that is Calvin Hill's logo right there. That's so you know where he got it from. He stole it from somewhere else. XRP holders urged to mark their calendars for this date. Dogecoin's OI sees massive 64% surge. Tether will flip Ethereum this year, Samson Mao says. Crypto News Digest by You Today. And where's it at here? Let's see here. XRP holders urged to mark their calendars for this date. According to a recent announcement by CME Group, it will soon launch a new product, XRP Futures. This product is expected to go live on May 19th. CME's plans to introduce XRP were accidentally revealed through a leak via beta webpage. Later in April, XRP officially confirmed the futures launched shortly after CME introduced Solana futures. Last July, the Chicago-based derivatives giant rolled out XRP pricing indices in, I don't know, I can't see so well, which signaled the growth of XRP's institutional adoption. Actually, I should blow this up a little bit so I can see it better. The screens are farther away from me now that I have the new setup. So I'm blind. I even have glasses on. I'm still blind and can't read. Signaled the growth of XRP institutional adoption and introduction of this year. Introduction of XRP futures is seen as a key step towards potential spot ETF approvals later this year, with several major firms already applying. At press time, XRP is trading at 2 blah 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 blah. So CME futures, obviously we know about this, and in the past, when Bitcoin got its futures, it pumped. And so I think that this is a double-edged sword, though, because futures are short positions for XRP. So it may pump at first, but it could also indicate short orders coming in if things don't go the way they're supposed to with the SEC case, or just different news. So keep that in mind. It could drive the price down at some point, but I think initially it will drive it up. Initially it'll drive it up. I don't know what is up with my talking voice today. I think my mouth, my throat, is just getting tired. I've been doing this a lot. What do you think of this? What do you think of that right now? Nose hair trimmer makes trimming your nose hair and pain-free and easy. Little joke. This is another one. This is one to pay attention to. In the words of Calvin Hill, pay attention. Pay attention, okay? XRP, Doge, and ADA holders are warned by Coinbase. Here's why. So, major crypto exchange Coinbase has put holders of Cardano, Litecoin, XRP, and Doge on notice. In a recent tweet, Coinbase indicated that wrapped visions of Cardano, or wrapped or warped? I think it's supposed to say warped versions of Cardano, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and XRP, which are CBADA and CBLTC and CBXRP and CB Doge, are coming soon, right? Coinbase revealed that these assets, CBADA, CBLTC, and CBXRP and CB Doge, are not yet live or available for trading. These assets are not yet live or available. We will announce their launch on their launch date, Coinbase stated in a tweet. And here's the tweet right here. There could be fraudulent actors making false claims that these coins are available to trade. The only official base contract address for these coins will be right here. So you can find this page. This is on U.Today. So U.Today, you can find this page, and you can click this link right here and find the actual place where you can actually buy these coins if you're interested in buying them. The exchange warned that there could be fraudulent actors making false claims that they're available to trade, with crypto scams increasing. Such pre-launch misinformation often aims to exploit user anticipation and lack of verification. And that brings me to the XPF. Okay. I did not buy XPF. I looked into it, and they want you to link a trust to your wallet. And I would say if you have done that, and it's through Telegram, that was my first red flag, was that you have to click the link on Telegram and then link a trust to your wallet, and you don't even receive it right away. It has all the red flags of a scam. Is it confirmed yet? No. But I am in the same instance of this case right here. I'm shying away from it. I wanted to buy it, but there's too much uncertainty and lack of verification. So I'm just going to wait until it goes live before I pick up any. And that'll be fine. The pre-launch, whatever. It's just a hype thing anyway, so that people feel like they can get into it early. That Theta I showed you yesterday is having a bit of a drop. Everything's having a bit of a drop. Everything's having a price correction, and everything's due for a price correction. Everything just got a hard pump. So, that now is the time where you would be buying. You don't buy it and I wouldn't even say buying, waiting to see where it's going to bottom out at and then buy. So I didn't buy it yet. I'm still waiting. Thank you for the heads up on though, but I am an advanced trader. I know not to buy in the middle of a pump. Let it wait, let it simmer a little bit, let it cook. All right? Let it cook. And your patience will always pay off in this market. When you're FOMOing or trying to make these decisions, you're going to get burned, or you're going to lose out on opportunity. The best thing to do is be patient. Things always retrace. They always come back and give you a second chance. You don't have to, be so worried and jumpy. All right. Bullying only leads to self-isolation. Xi says, day after the U.S.-China tariff truce. Hold on, I gotta block somebody. All right, 'tis done. I don't really need to read it so much. It basically just restates it. But let's watch it. It's subtitled, but let's just check it out.
世界百年变局加速演进，多重风险交织叠加，各国唯有团结协作，才能维护世界和平稳定，促进全球发展繁荣。关税战、贸易战没有赢家，霸凌霸道
That was it. I think this is another one here though. Let's see here. Let's give it a second to load, and if it doesn't load, oh, I need to give my voice a little break. I was hoping for a little bit longer video. Need to take a drink.
President Donald Trump addressed his plan to accept a Qatari jet worth hundreds of millions of dollars as a gift in an interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity.
But I thought it was a beautiful gesture. Now, there are those that say we shouldn't be accepting gifts to the Defense Department. And I would say only a stupid person would say that. Why wouldn't you do that? And so it helps us out because we'll have a relatively new plane instead of having 40-year-old planes.
Senators have voiced concerns about Trump's plan to accept the luxury plane, citing issues that range from security to promoting American manufacturing. Trump plans to use the plane as Air Force One.
My attitude is, why wouldn't I accept the gift? We're giving everybody else. Why wouldn't I accept the gift? You know, we've secured that part of the world for many years. So if somebody makes a gift, then I'm not getting nothing. I get to fly it like any other president would.
That's interesting. Everyone's giving him backlash for that. I don't know. I don't think it's good for politicians to be accepting bribes in quotations. But it does kind of seem a little over the top. So I don't know. I don't completely agree with it. I also don't disagree with it. That's for the American people to decide. And I think it's up to the legislators to decide and the judicial branch to decide if he broke some rules there. I believe it is illegal though. I believe that they're not allowed to accept gifts over a certain amount of money, and I think it's only a few $1,000s. So that is something to consider. All right, this one's pretty interesting. Rogue communication devices found in Chinese solar power inverters. U.S. energy officials are reassessing the risk. Let me zoom into this a little bit. The risk posed by Chinese-made devices that play a critical role in renewable energy infrastructure and unexplained communication equipment was found inside some of them. Two people familiar with what Matt said, power inverters, which are predominantly produced in China, are used throughout the world to connect solar panels and wind turbines to electricity grids. They are also found in batteries, heat pumps, and electric vehicle chargers. While inverters are built to allow remote access for updates and maintenance, the utility companies that use them typically install firewalls to prevent direct communication back to China. However, rogue communication devices not listed in product documents have been found in some Chinese solar power inverters by U.S. experts who stripped down equipment hooked up to grids to check for security issues, the two people said. Are you still there on TikTok? I think the bit rate is too high for TikTok right now. I'm gonna have to have the IT guy look at that. That is interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. Two people said this. Over the past 9 months, documented communication devices, including cellular radios, have been found in some batteries from multiple Chinese suppliers. One of them said Reuters was unable to determine how many solar power inverters and batteries they have looked at. The rogue components provide additional undocumented communication channels that could allow firewalls to be circumvented remotely with potential catastrophe consequences. The two people said both declined to be named because they did not have permission to speak to the media. We know that China believes there is value in placing at least some elements of our core infrastructure at risk of destruction or disruption, said Mike Rogers, a former director of the U.S. National Security Agency. I think that the Chinese, in part, hoping that the widespread use of inverters limits the options that the West has to deal with the security issues. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy said, "We oppose this generalization of concept of national security, distorting and smearing China's infrastructure achievements. Using the rogue communication devices to skirt firewalls and switch off inverters remotely or changing their settings could destabilize power grids, damage energy infrastructure, and trigger widespread blackouts," experts said. This is interesting. And, you know, I don't remember when it was. Was it like the 90s or the 80s or something? They had a thing came out and they were like saying, oh, your toaster's spying on you because everything was coming from China. And they were finding this kind of stuff in the things from China. This happened before in the past. We keep getting disconnected. Let me see here. I may need to make a little change here on TikTok Studio. Not quite sure how to do this. I need the IT guy. And the IT guy is not here. The IT guy won't be here till like 8 o'clock tonight. So if TikTok is dropping on you, my apologies. We'll get that figured out here very soon. But this is interesting. You know, the fact that China could be sending out inverters that could be remote controlled and shut down, this could be devastating to the power grid. And everything's going solar, especially here in California. But yeah, very interesting. And don't forget, if you're watching on TikTok, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. But right now, we need your likes. We need your likes on TikTok now more than ever. So hit the like button. We're probably going to end the live a little short today because it's going to be bad for the analytics because we're not having much viewership or engagement. So when we're not getting, you know, any engagement or low viewership, we have to end the live, unfortunately, because it's bad for the show overall. So we're probably going to call it a little bit early, but this is something to take into consideration. With China doing this, it makes me question the trade deal with them. It's a 90-day pause, but there's no deal. And the fact that they had made deals with Joe Biden and they didn't honor any of them makes me wonder if China's playing the long game and they're only squeezing us so that we seem weak and other countries try to strong arm us. Because since this deal or 90-day pause happened with China, now India is putting retaliatory tariffs on the US, and no one's talking about it. I'm the only person talking about it. There are now retaliatory tariffs from India right now. And I think that they're trying to do the same thing that happened with China. They're like, well, if we hold out, we'll get a better deal. Them saying explains drones are most certainly making us a fool now. Spying, yeah. They're spying on us. They have control of all of our electronics. They make all of our electronics. They could potentially be doing some very nefarious things. I gotta handle TikTok real quick. All right, I think that fixed it. Yeah, that we keep getting disconnected from TikTok. Keeps dropping. Interesting. We talk bad about China and we start getting all these issues. Very interesting to me. I find it very interesting. And this is why we have Twitch. It's a backup. Because TikTok's been hella glitchy. If you're not speaking the narrative that TikTok wants you to, but you're not breaking guidelines, they drop the live like a lot. And it makes it hard for streaming and hard for maintaining viewership. But China's doing a lot of nonsense right now. All right, Trump's trade war wins so far. More talks, uncertainty, and deadlines. The White House has said its agreements with the UK and China are starting points, but so far the Trump administration has given up more than it has gained. So not looking too good with the whole tariff thing. That's why it's only a 90-day pause, because the amount of tariffs that were put on China were unsustainable. It was going to cause collapse of both countries. And you know, this is not good. This is not good. More than a month after President Donald Trump's tariff-focused Liberation Day, just about all Americans has won is more deadlines and assurance of ongoing talks. That's all we've won, is more deadlines and more talks. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is official. No deals have been signed, even with the UK. And I don't even think there's been a deal with Israel now. I think there was going to be a deal, and I'm not sure if that's 100% yet. I'm still looking into that. With China and the U.S. has secured no major changes other than offsetting step downs of recent import duties and import restrictions. And an accord with the U.K. announced last Wednesday offered little beyond improved access for U.S. meats and ethanol. And that's not even official yet. The White House has said both agreements are starting points. While it's been enough to soothe international markets and restore U.S. stock gains, the Trump administration has little to show in the way of concessions gained from the agreements. And this is true. And no one is talking about this. They're all just saying, oh, we got a trade deal. Everybody thinks, oh, there's a trade deal, it's fine. Even when we had the 90-day pause, everyone's like, oh, it's a 90-day pause. There was no pause. All tariffs were still in place. It was just a pause for like 100% tariffs. They lie to you. They lie to you. They use manipulative wording tactics to lie to you. And that's why so many people are misinformed. And that's why I'm not 100% on the idea that everything is going to be okay and we're not just going to come crashing back down. I don't think we're going to the moon because none of this stuff is set in stone. It's just created more uncertainty, and people will find out. The truth always comes out, and look at, we're dropping below this line now. This is not good for XRP right here. Oh, wait a minute. The line got moved. Never mind. We're not there, but we're getting close to it. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. We're right at the line. Let's see here. That one. Look, it's right at the line. And it touched it. It literally touched it, and it came up and started to work its way back up again. But if this candle closes below this line, then that means that this is no longer support and it becomes resistance, and it will bounce up underneath it and eventually break down. So keep in mind, keep an eye on the 1-day chart right now. The 1 day is everything, but it also kind of looks like a nasty head and shoulders possibly. This could be a head and shoulders. It's not quite textbook, but I would probably say in the 4 hour, it's more like it. That is pretty dang textbook for a head and shoulders. Boom. So if it falls down here, oh, let's say 1, 2, 3 days maybe. That would be Thursday-ish and coming into the weekend sell-off. And this would line up with Friday, another little pump, and then Sunday dropping all the way down to 208. That lines up with the way the market's been moving. TikTok seller with the 4 tiny dinos. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. Share the show too. You know, when you guys share, it also does drive the For You page. Even if those people don't come and watch the show, you sharing it drives the For You page algorithm for TikTok. So share the show, guys. Hit the like button. Hit all the buttons you can. Show us as much engagement as you can. But we got to get up, you know, to like 50K likes and at least like 10 viewers on TikTok, or I got to end the live here very soon. And that's probably, I feel like that's what's coming. And I don't like ending the show early. I like doing the whole thing, you know, but the analytics, we have to work with averages. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. So keep smashing the like button, keep hitting all the buttons. And if you're on Twitch, don't forget to chat and engage and be in there, even if you're just sending emojis. When you guys are engaging in the chat on Twitch as well, that's helping their algorithm as well. All right. Engagement is way down today. Way down. I need your help. We have to work together as a community here. Spam the chat. That goes for TikTok as well. Spam the chat. Hit the like button. Send in gifts. Whatever you guys can do, we need to do it. There's also a little thing here down in the chat. It looks like a horn with confetti coming out of it on Twitch. I believe you can hit that one and you can cheer on the show. Do you use 4-hour candle as your main view? No. The 1 day. But the 4-hour would be an indication of like about a week or you know, 4 or 5 days out, and that's what we're seeing here. But the main one we look at is the 1 day. We got our little ghost guy. He's back. I put the ghost guy back because I feel like we're not quite there yet. HD Malicious with the chat icon. Thank you very much. I appreciate the engagement that you are giving. It's much appreciated. It does help. The other day, the chat was going crazy on Twitch and everybody was messaging a lot. And because of that, we got some haters that came into the chat, and that drove up the chat even more, and everybody was chatting together, and it was really good for the show, for the analytics. But we have to maintain those levels. TikTok seller with 12 roses. Thank you very much, man. Hopefully I was able to help out your show earlier, TikTok seller. I noticed you weren't getting any likes, and there wasn't much. There was like 2 or 3 viewers in the show. So I just started double tapping the like button like crazy for you, bro. And before you know it, man, there was a lot of people at one point. We had, I want to say we were up to like 100 viewers for you. And then I started seeing the sales coming in for you, man. And so I hope that helped boost things up a little bit. And people started chatting and sending stuff, you know. So I hope that helped you out, man. Thanks for helping us. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I try to help out. If you have a show or a channel or whatever, I'm gonna always drop in and give you a little bit of love. B has a channel, and I drop in his, and when he's playing games. He hasn't been around lately though. I think he's been pretty busy lately. I get it. Memorial Day's coming up and stuff. So he's been pretty busy. But if you do have a channel or something like that, and you want to shout out or anything, or you want to send it my way, I will come and support you. And as soon as TikTok seller has something to sell that I want, I'm gonna buy it. I just don't see the need for melatonin gum. It kind of seems silly to me, but who chews gum before bed? That's how you wake up with gum in your hair. I'm just trolling you a little bit, TikTok seller, but that was a funny one. That one I was like, yeah, I can't condone this behavior. I was like, this is not good. Whoever had this idea, no. Cavities, yeah. But could you imagine chewing on a piece of melatonin gum before bed, right? First, I was like, oh, this is a great idea. It was like a neurology like thing or whatever. And I thought, okay, it's a gum that you chew that gives you vitamins throughout the day that like boosts your brain activity. And then I looked into it because I was going to buy some. I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. I want some gum that's going to give me some vitamins that's going to help my brain, right? And function on a higher level. So I'm like, yeah, I want that. And then I looked into it and I was like, it's just melatonin. It makes you sleepy. It's a sleep aid. I was like, who chews gum before bed? That's the makings of a disaster. I sell them for campaign deals. I get it. I know how it is. I sold the products too on here. I totally understand. And they offer those deals and campaign deals because they know that the product's not that great. I don't use that shit. No, my hair is so thick, it would not survive it. I know, right? If you chew melatonin gum before bed, by the way, I've been saving this until after TikTok seller was not selling this product. But But if you chew melatonin gum before bed, you are due for a haircut. Right? That's all that can lead to is a haircut. That's all you're gonna get out of it. Oh man, I must have laughed for a good 30 minutes with the staff here the other day. We were dying laughing over the freaking melatonin gum. Will you make a short trade this weekend? I don't do shorts. There's too much risk in it for me. I'd rather just be patient, because with a short you can be liquidated. So I don't do shorts. It's too risky. I'd rather just wait for it to drop and go long. And I'm very patient. If you've been watching this show, you will see I am very patient. I'm watching it every day, but I'm not overzealous. I'm just waiting to see, and I know that when things happen, I'll get a second chance at it. I'll at least catch half of it. I'm not gonna, fret over a little bit. Yeah, obviously this is nice. This is a nice move here from 210 all the way to 265. That was beautiful. And we called it here. We called it. This is beautiful. Doesn't stop loss fix being liquidated? I mean, I don't do stop loss trading because a lot of times when trading, you set those stop losses and it drops down right to the stop loss. It sells you off, and then it only goes maybe a little lower or right to it, and then it recovers. I stay away from the stop loss as well. I have a very unorthodox style of trading, and that's why we're so accurate. Yeah, it is rigged, and I don't trade and follow all the nonsense and I wouldn't call it nonsense. It does have some validity to it. Okay, I'll give it that. But I just, when I was doing the show too, management was like, hey, like you need to start using more indicators and doing more technical analysis like these other creators are. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. They're like, do you even know how? And I'm like, yeah, I know how to do this. And so I was for a while there. For a little while, I adapted that style, kind of against my will, based off of management. TikTok seller, thank you for the 16 roses, much appreciated. But I realized that once I did that, I started becoming less accurate. And I realized I was like, I have something to offer here by being different, by showing people how I trade, because when I trade my style, I'm way more accurate, way more ahead of the curve, and I don't have that outside white noise influencing my brain, making me second guess myself. And when I do it this way has been true fire for me. It's worked for me for the last 10 years, 15 years. And I'm going to do me. It's my show. And I told them, I'm like, I understand other people want to see that, but that's what sets this show apart from everyone else. Because you can, and you've all seen me firsthand do the technical analysis. You'll throw out a project up there. I'll pull it up. Do you see me pulling up indicators? Do you see me pulling up anything like that? No. I'm looking at the candles. I'm looking at the patterns, and that's it. And that is how it's done. It's been done like that for a very long time. These indicators and things are newer technologies, and I believe that they're flawed, and I believe that AI uses those against people. Do you ever use the take profit option? What do you mean take profit option? Like an indicator that tells you when to take profits? I know when to take profits. I take profits at every resistance zone. Every time I'm like, okay, this is where resistance is at, I take profits there. Then it moves up more, I take profits there. Don't be too greedy, you know? Being greedy is going to burn you in the long run. Some of these companies I work with are from China, and when they ask them anything, they are useless. Oh, I agree. I know what you mean. I literally got banned from selling the Arculus wallets. And I did nothing wrong. All I did was sell wallets, and I did a great job at it. We sold a lot of wallets, and it helped a lot of people. But it's nonsense. Let's see. Mother of Dragons with the heart me. Thank you very much. Kodak 59 with the, let's see, 4 roses. Thank you very much. Oh, also, oh, Kodak 59 with another 19 roses. Send in a heart me, guys. If you look up at the very top left, right where my name is, you see the Oz the Crypto Goat logo on the top on TikTok. There's a little heart right there. If you click that and you send me a heart me, if I get like a few more people to send those heart me's, I actually advance on the percentages on TikTok, where I'll possibly, I wouldn't say I'm not going to make a lot of money, but it raises my percentage of what I actually will make. So instead of making $1, I'll make like $5 for the live. So the heart me's are definitely something to engage in if you're interested in sending those. That's going to be your best gift to send, is the heart me's. Kodak 59 with the heart me. Thank you very much. I hear people talking bad about XRP. That means hold till 2030 and you'll be rich. I don't know. Yes and no. We did cover some of the news about TikTok seller with a greeting heart. Thank you very much. Reread some news about is XRP obsolete now? You know, because of RLUSD. Will it only be used for gas fees? That's the question at hand. Is XRP just used for liquidity for paying gas fees? I don't know. You know, Brad Garlinghouse said no, it's going to help XRP by having RLUSD. But XRP really gets its value from people buying it and holding it. Thank you, TikTok seller, for your support. I appreciate you very much. And anytime I see you on, I haven't been on TikTok much lately because I'm doing the show or we're building the studio. But yesterday I ended a little bit early and I just needed to zone out and TikTok for a while just to shut my brain off and doom scroll. Because I was just overly manic. I didn't go to sleep until I think 5 or 6 a.m. this time, and then I was up at 9. So I was like, I just needed something to shut my brain off with. So when I am on TikTok and I see you there, I always come try to at least give you some likes or show you some love. I'm hoping for you one day to have a product that I want to buy, and I'll buy it. But I'm very particular about the things I buy. They must fit a certain criteria. How much did you lose when you first started to how much did you make? Technically, I've never taken a loss. I know that sounds crazy. I mean, I have taken losses, but I've always regained it back later on with a trade. So I've never actually taken losses. I've usually broken even. I would say at the most of a loss I've taken is, maybe like a couple grand, but over the grand scheme of things, how long I've been doing this, it's basically nothing. My brain just works differently. And you know what? You want to know? Okay, let's talk about something. Was anybody in the GATE program in school in the 90s? Were any of you in the GATE program? I was in the GATE program. Censored by TikTok, thank you for the 21 roses. And the heart me, much appreciated. 42 roses from Censored by TikTok. Was anybody in the GATE program? I think it's Gifted and Talented Education program. Nobody was in that? So there's this, let me get these numbers up, guys. Thank you. Your daughter was. What do you know about it? What do you know about the GATE program? Danny? Because I was in the GATE program, and let me tell you, what's the best way to get someone coaching with you? Be a deluxe subscriber and on TikTok and message me directly. When you're a deluxe subscriber on TikTok, you have access to one-on-one coaching from me. No, not on here. It's got to be on TikTok because that's part of it. It was for advanced students. You know, it's more than that. It's more than that. It's some MK Ultra stuff they're doing. You aren't leaving TikTok? For now, I'm not. We're going to be using TikTok probably at least until TwitchCon, which is months out from now. So I'm going to say probably another 6 months of TikTok before it's completely phased out. At least 3, maybe 6. It just depends. So yeah, it's still a viable thing to have, and that's just the way it works now. And when it does happen, June 19th is the deadline for the TikTok ban. So yeah, maybe June, but that's 1 month out from now. So you'd get a month of subscription. So, and anybody that purchases a subscription on TikTok and we do end up moving to Twitch, I'm going to honor those through Twitch later on at no extra charge. So it'll continue on through the month. So you're still going to get whatever you pay for, you're going to get. Okay. I'm not going to cheat anybody out of anything. So the GATE program, Gifted and Talented Education, it's some MK Ultra stuff. And let me tell you, I was in the program and I forgot about it. And I thought that I was supposed to be in it. And then like I never got put into it, but I was put into it. And my mom was like, oh yeah, you were in that program. I was like, I thought I never got signed up for it. She's like, no, yeah, you were in it. And for the longest time, I was like, I don't remember any of it. And now there's this thing on TikTok where, and you can look it up. Go onto TikTok and type in the search bar, GATE program, right? And you can see these videos, and I started getting them in my For You page, and it started coming back to me. I started remembering it, the pink juice and the different puzzles and things that they would have you do, and all those things. I remember it now. And more recently, it's been starting to come back to me. But a lot of people are saying, like, through that program, it's like this MK Ultra type thing where they're trying to find children that have telekinetic abilities and or like they can make predictions. And I, call me crazy, okay, but I also watch these TikTok videos and they just came across my For You page by accident, you know, and they're like, pick a card and tell me what's on the other side of the card. And out of like 60 different videos that I watched, every single one of them I got right. I was able to name the color and the number on the card. Like that, they'll pick an Uno card out of the deck and they'll hold it and they'll say, guess what the card is? And then they flip it over. And I was right, like every single time. And I was like, what is going on here? And I've been like looking into like what's going on with that. And I think that's part of why I'm so good with predicting the markets. Yeah, some of it's pattern, but a lot of it's intuition. I just get these feelings where I'm watching the market and I'm like, I think it's turning around today. I don't know. Sometimes it shows a pattern that I see that other people aren't seeing, but sometimes it's other things. But I feel like I have this intuition. You can call me crazy or whatever, but it's proving itself more and more every day to me, especially now that I'm aware of it and I'm observing it. User censored by TikTok, thank you for the heart meat, the 42 roses, and 11 goats. You've made a lot, or a little lot. I mean, I'd say I've made a little lot. You know, I'm not filthy freaking rich, and most of my, I'm cash poor. Okay, I am cash poor, but I do own lots of hard assets, and I have businesses. I did just sell one of my businesses. I'm not doing it anymore. But I did keep the car collection. I was doing mechanics, but doing this show is just takes all my time. So I basically sold that business to continue onward with this business from now on. It seems like you shamed me yesterday when I told you about Ann Tucker and the angels saying XRP is a good investment. You believe in deep intuition. I do. I didn't mean to shame you. That's good to have property too and be cash poor. Yeah, I think cash is not a good thing to have right now anyway. But I didn't mean to shame you on that. And I'm sorry if I came across that way. No, I do believe in those things. But I feel like I'm getting the opposite energy. I feel like something's telling me to stay away from it right now. And I think, I guess more of what I was trying to indicate yesterday is there are a lot of people on the internet that have everything to gain from you and from building a following and influencing their following to do what is best for them. So it's very alarming to me. For me, I'm a very unbiased. I don't care. I just want to see people succeed. I want good things for people, and I want you to decide what's best for you on your own. I'm not going to tell you, hey, angels told me, or my intuition is telling me to do this. I'm just going to tell you what I see, and you make that decision for yourself. She just says put 10 or 20 into it. Yeah, those types of people, those are the kinds of people that think you can buy 10 or 20 bucks worth and hold on to it and you're going to be filthy rich. That's just not how it works. How long are my shows normally? I'm live Monday through Friday, 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So 4 hours every day. I know she's looking out for her too. Yeah, and that's part of why I'm like, I get what she's saying, and maybe there's something to it, and I do take a little bit of validity to it. Maybe there is something there, because I do have strong intuition connections with XRP as well. And I think XRP is linked to a very spiritual community. However, I'm conflicted right now. That TikTok comment section on that video I sent you was a disaster. It's insane how clueless people were, but it's not even their fault. I agree, because everybody was being fed that, and I'm not calling you out, Guinea Marie. Okay, so don't take this the wrong way. This is not you. But there are people on TikTok that are saying, I'm channeling angels that are telling me to tell you to buy XRP. They're telling people that XRP is going to $11 million by the end of this year. They're telling them all kinds of crazy things, and they have everything to gain from that. And a lot of people are misinformed or not well informed, and because of that, they are highly manipulatable. TikTok, their algorithm is very suggestive. That's why it's very easy for you to sell products on TikTok, because the way TikTok operates with their algorithm, it supplies a dopamine hit to them. And it's even stronger of a dopamine hit when they buy something or product, or when they send a rose or whatever, these different things. Have you noticed, like, the engagement on Twitch is very minimal? People are watching and they're listening, and that's what it's meant for. Whereas TikTok, there's something about it, how it works and operates, and the layout or whatever. It's very mind control that causes people to be more have more engagement with it. Yes, it's very powerful and very smart. That's why it takes longer to grow on Twitch. But once you grow on Twitch, your following is solid. And that's why I chose Twitch, because those who watch people on Twitch, their following are diehard. I think she's feeling